Hey guys, welcome to Arcane Waters. My name's Kuthlik, and I've been playing Arcane Waters since the playtest and since early access started, and I've put in... Oh, fuck. Anyways, I've been around, and today I wanted to help out new players by saying 5 things I wish I knew when I started the game that would help me get a better start if I restarted right now. Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone that as of making this video, the game is still currently in very early access and everything probably will and is subject to change. So just keep in mind if you're watching this a lot further down the line, hopefully some things stick around and are the same, give you a good starting point, but in case they aren't, remember, currently in early access, things are going to change. Alright, so first things first, figure we'd start off with, how do I make gold? What's the best ways to get it right now? And the answer to that is you farm. Not like go off to locations and farm items, but you actually have to go to your farmland, plant some crops, harvest them, and sell them to the shops. Right now, you only have 24 places you can plant crops in your homestead. You get one homestead for free, and you get 24 spots, which isn't bad. It won't get you a ton of cash quickly, but it's something to start with. However, something the game doesn't really tell you, and something you should save up your first 750 gold for. Let's head back out to the town real quick. Is making a guild. You can make a guild by having 750 gold, pressing the G button, create, name it whatever you want, so just random guild name here. The name is valid, good to know. Customize it however you want, create, yep. And then once you create it, you can now get this menu whenever you press G. Go ahead and hit map, and this, you'll get to choose what type of layout you want. Layouts don't matter, you get the same amount of guild or farm space in any home layout and with any guild layout. But here, as you can see, you go from 24 little spots on your home to an additional 96 here. This 750 gold spent multiplies how many crops you can build by 5, and this is huge. This lets you, again, make 5 times more money. Also increases your farmer level, because you can grow and harvest more stuff as well. So by far, the first things you should save up your first 750 gold for would be getting your own guild so you can take advantage of this farming. To go along with farming, just to make things a little bit easier, you can go along and just click to plant. I'm watering right now, but you can click to plant your seeds. But if you hit escape, go into the options and go into game, there is an auto farm feature. If you turn that on, whenever you have seeds selected, so if I press 1 here, you'll just automatically plant them whenever you run over the area. Same thing will go for watering. Whenever this bar fills up, you can run over it with the watering can selected, and you'll automatically water everything too. This can be a nice way to really sit back. You don't really have to click as much. It's a lazier way and less stressful way to farm. This next one isn't so much a tip as an explanation of a system that I feel like isn't that intuitive as you start out the game. Your character experience and how you get perk points is not related to your skill levels. If you click on your character and press player info, you'll be able to see what skill levels you are right here in this handy dandy little chart. These have nothing to do with this level right here. This level right here, also known as a character level, is reliant on this character experience bar right here. The only way to get character experience is from quests and land combat. Not sea combat and scaling, but when you actually go and fight people in the hack and slash or the turn-based land combat that you'll see around the ocean. So they aren't related at all, and that throws a lot of newer players off. I'm hoping down the line this gets changed, but as of right now, make sure you can see your level, your character experience, and these skill levels. These skill levels do make a bit of a difference on some things you can do, such as you can only start planting some seeds once your farming level is high enough. The higher your crafting level, the higher your chance to get a rare craft. Miner level doesn't do anything extra at the moment. And sailor, you need a high enough sailor level to buy and use some ships later on down the road. The third tip I have for newer players is that the ship's stat values will change in the shops. Each shop resets at a certain interval, and whenever it resets, the stat values of the ships in here will change as well. Each ship has 6 different values. The abilities will stay the same, but these values here will change. This is not something I knew when starting out, so I just kind of bought a ship as soon as I could afford it, regardless of how good or bad the rolls were. If you join the Arcane Waters Discord, there are handy charts there to help you see the ranges of the stats for each ship. But if you have the patience and you want to wait and see if you can find a nicely rolled ship. Maybe you want something like a Karak, which is traditionally a trading ship due to its high cargo value here, but maybe you want it to have a little bit more than 94 speed, that way you can make your cargo trading runs a little bit faster. To go along with the ship stats changing, the price at which you can sell crops also changes. If you go into one of these shops in any major city, or town, however you want to look at it, with the funded, say, name crop shop, you can go in and talk to the NPC there, and this is where you can sell the crops that you farmed earlier. In Port Haven, which is the starting town and the starting island, you can only sell carrots and potatoes. Carrots can only be sold at 1 gold here. Potatoes can range from 8 to 24 gold. The more stars there are, the higher each potato will sell for. 1 star is the minimum, and ideally you want to have these 3 blue stars, and that will be as high as a price will go there. As you visit other regions, you might be able to sell more crops there and at different prices, so keep an eye out. Unlike ship stat rolls, which are completely random as far as I know, the prices of your crops are dependent upon what you have sold or what other people on the server have sold. As you sell more carrots, the price of potatoes will go up. As you sell more potatoes, the price of potatoes will go down. At Port Haven, carrots will always be 1 gold. So you might want to try to manipulate the market a little bit by selling a bunch of carrots, waiting till the next price refresh cycle, hoping this goes up to like 20, 24, which is the max for potatoes in Port Haven, and then selling all of the potatoes you have for way more gold than the measly 8 you have right here. One thing I see a lot of new players ask is when they're out at sea, all of a sudden their ship just sinks, and they can't quite figure out why. One of the important things to note is in the top left, you'll see these 4 bread icons for different ships. It might be 3, it might be 5. Those are your supplies. As you sail around, those supplies will slowly go down. However, if you dash by holding the left shift button, you will use up your supplies faster. A lot of players don't get as far as they think they should be able to go because they're dashing too much. While dashing might seem like a great way to get around, it reduces your effective range. Oops. Also very helpful for getting away from pirates. But yes, if you want to maximize your range on a ship, take advantage of these wind currents that we saw up here near Port Haven, but also don't dash. Just sail normally. Also avoid fighting if you can. That'll help you maximize your supplies, maximize how far you can go, and reach different points of interest. Finally, I want to talk about voyages. Voyages are the best way to get sailing experience, especially if you do group voyages. I'm going to show you a clip of me doing just a solo voyage by myself, but you can have up to 5 other people for 6-man voyages, and the voyages do scale with the amount of enemies. So right now, you can see, as I miss ships, just kind of moving along, not really too worried about things. How many times did I miss him? Too many. And again, I'll speed this up as well when I show the group voyage. But just 5 enemies, and you get through. If you don't have a choice, this can still be a good way to get sailing experience, and just pick up some loot. Especially as you do the end of the voyage. You can get a nice blueprint sometimes to make your own weapons or armor, or trinkets or whatnot. However, where voyages really come in is, as I said, when you group up with 2 other people to hit the 3-person threshold, or 4 other people to hit the 5-person threshold. At that point, you'll either get 10 enemies per map, or 15, and they will be more powerful, have more health, and a lot more chaotic. Because there are more enemies, you get more sailing experience, more loot, and in my opinion, it's also more fun. Just going out with your buddies, or just people on the server, and having fun with a complete shootout against a bunch of enemies, what could be more fun than that? Alrighty, well there are my 5 tips for beginning players. Hopefully it helped people out. Hopefully you have a little bit better idea of what you're doing and what you should be doing to get a better start in Arcane Waters. If these are helpful, please like the video. It super helps me out. If you have any more questions, please check out the Arcane Waters Discord or message me in-game. I'm Kuth, K-U-T-H. Be happy to help out and answer any questions that I can. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see all of you in Arcane Waters.